Chosen one, imagine this. An ordinary day unfolds, the rhythm of life lulling you into its familiar patterns. Suddenly, without warning, your name echoes in a courtroom, a place charged with the energy of truth, justice, and decisions that shape destinies. It's not in a casual conversation or among friends, but in a solemn setting where every word carries weight, where lives can be redefined in a single moment. Your heart races, your mind is flooded with questions. Why was your name mentioned? What does this mean for your life? Could this be a call, a signal from the heavens, inviting you into something far greater than you've ever imagined? Pause and reflect on this profound possibility. Picture the scene, the judge seated with unwavering authority, the lawyers presenting their arguments with precision, and the silent audience hanging on every word. Then, amidst this charged atmosphere, your name is spoken, not as an afterthought, but as a centerpiece to a story you may not fully understand yet. How would you feel? Would you tremble with fear, or would you recognize this moment as one of divine significance? What might this event be revealing about your purpose, your influence, and your role in a much larger narrative? The Bible reminds us that God's chosen are often thrust into situations they never anticipated, where their courage and faith are tested. Think of Esther, a young woman from humble beginnings, standing in the royal court of King Xerxes with the weight of her people's fate on her shoulders. At first she hesitated, unsure if she could rise to the occasion, but Mordecai's words pierced through her doubt. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this? Esther 4:14. Could it be that this courtroom moment represents your such a time as this? Could the very mention of your name signify a pivotal moment in your divine calling? Being chosen is both an honor and a responsibility. It can feel overwhelming to realize you've been singled out, but it's also a testament to your value and your unique role in God's plan. Jesus reminded his disciples of this truth when he said, "You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you so that you might go and bear fruit, fruit that will last." John 15:16. When your name is called forth in such a significant way, it's as though heaven itself is shining a light on your destiny, urging you to step forward with faith and purpose. Before we dive into the deeper revelations of this moment, let me pause to express my heartfelt gratitude to every one of you who supports this ministry. Your prayers, engagement, and generous super thanks contributions are the foundation of this community. Your faithfulness allows us to share God's word and inspire countless lives around the world. If this message stirs something within you, take a moment to comment 777 below, a declaration of your readiness to embrace God's purpose for your life. Let it be a symbol of your alignment with His plan and a commitment to stepping boldly into your calling. So, what does this courtroom moment truly mean? Could it be a test, a divine appointment, or perhaps a turning point where your destiny unfolds before your very eyes? Stay with me as we unravel the hidden meaning behind this extraordinary event. Together, we'll explore the lessons, the strength, and the blessings that lie within this moment of truth. Your name wasn't called by accident. It was spoken for a reason. Let's uncover it together. God's chosen ones, your name came up in court. The result will leave you speechless. Chapter 1. The Shockwave of Recognition. Picture yourself sitting quietly, immersed in the ordinary rhythms of life. The air is still, the moment unremarkable, until something shifts. A faint murmur reaches your ears, growing steadily into a resonant roar that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Then, unexpectedly, it happens. Your name, not in a place you anticipated, not among those you know, but in a courtroom, a solemn, sacred space where truths are laid bare and destinies are decided. What's the first thought that crosses your mind? Confusion? Fear? A spark of something deeper? Curiosity? Imagine the scene. The judge's gaze fixed and unyielding, the lawyer's voices deliberate and sharp, and a crowd that watches, tense and expectant. Then, in the midst of it all, your name. Perhaps it's tied to a piece of evidence whispered as a witness, or spoken as someone central to the case's outcome. Whatever the context, one thing is clear: this moment isn't random. Could this be the moment you've been unknowingly prepared for? The Bible is rich with stories where the seemingly ordinary are thrust into extraordinary roles. Consider Joseph, sold into slavery by his brothers, only to hear his name echoed in Pharaoh's court years later. Can we find anyone like this man, one in whom is the Spirit of God? Genesis 41:38. His journey from the pit to the palace wasn't luck, it was divine preparation. When your name is spoken in a context you never expected, could it be that God's hand is moving, orchestrating something far greater than you can see? Take a deep breath and close your eyes. Feel the air filling your lungs, grounding you in this moment. Now imagine radiant threads of light streaming from your heart, connecting you to unseen realms, to people and events that seem distant but are profoundly intertwined with your life's purpose. That courtroom moment is one of these threads, a critical intersection where heaven touches earth, demanding your attention. Have you ever wondered why your presence often shifts the energy in a room? Perhaps a calm word from you dissolved an argument, or your silent strength inspired someone to take a bold step. These moments weren't random. They were God's whispers, preparing you for a greater role. Just as Esther's name was spoken in King Xerxes' court. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this? Esther 4:14. So too has your name been called, signaling a pivotal moment in your journey. But why now? Why here? Could it be that this is the hour for which you were created? The shock you feel isn't just an emotional reaction, it's a divine awakening. The Bible reminds us that those who are called often feel unworthy at first. Think of Moses, who, when summoned by God at the burning bush, protested, "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh?" Exodus 3:11. Yet God's answer was simple and profound, "I will be with you." Exodus 3:12. When your name is spoken in unexpected places, it's not a sign of your insufficiency, but of God's sufficiency working through you. This courtroom moment represents more than you can fathom. It's a kairos, a divine appointment. Others might dismiss it as coincidence, but deep inside, you know better. Could it be that your life is meant to intersect with a greater narrative, one written by the author of all creation? Now, consider this. What if this moment isn't just about you? What if your name being spoken is part of a grander plan, connecting you to lives you've yet to touch, events yet to unfold? Jesus himself said, "You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you so that you might go and bear fruit, fruit that will last." John 15:16. If he has chosen you, then this moment, however unsettling, is part of that appointment. Let's pause and reflect. How will you respond? Will you shrink back in fear, or will you embrace the discomfort as an opportunity to step into your divine calling? Remember, even David, the shepherd boy who became king, had to face moments of doubt. When Samuel anointed him, David was just a boy tending sheep, unprepared for the enormity of his future. Yet God saw his heart and called him forward. 1 Samuel 16:7. Like David, you may feel unready, even unworthy. But consider this. If God has allowed your name to surface in this way, isn't it because he sees something in you that you've yet to recognize? As you sit with this realization, let the shock settle. Allow it to shift from fear to power. from confusion to clarity. This is not merely a moment of recognition, it's a summons to step into your role as a chosen one. The universe, guided by God's hand, is reminding you of your place in its intricate tapestry. In the chapters to come, we'll delve deeper into the reasons your name was spoken, what this means for your personal and spiritual journey, and how you can navigate this unexpected revelation with faith and courage. For now, let this truth resonate. You are not a passive observer in this story. You are a key player, chosen and called for such a time as this. Will you rise to the occasion? Chapter 2. Unraveling the Hidden Threads. Now that the initial shock has settled, let us journey deeper, beyond the courtroom, beyond the visible, into the intricate tapestry woven beneath this unexpected drama. The scene before you, the austere chamber, the judge's penetrating gaze, the formal language, is but a thin veil. Beneath it lies a world alive with unseen forces, connections, and divine orchestration. Your name's sudden emergence in this setting is no accident. It is a signal, a clue that dormant threads from your life are being awakened, brought into focus at the appointed time. Reflect for a moment on your life's journey. Think of the people you've met, the decisions you made without much thought, the places you've been. Each encounter, each action, formed a link in a vast, unseen chain stretching through time. Could it be that a seemingly minor conversation, a kind gesture, or an unassuming choice from years ago has set this moment into motion? The seeds we sow, whether consciously or unknowingly, often bloom in seasons we least expect. The Bible teaches us that nothing is truly forgotten in God's plan. Consider Ruth, a Moabite widow who made a seemingly simple decision to remain loyal to her mother-in-law, Naomi. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Ruth 1:16. That act of faithfulness, unnoticed by the world, set into motion a series of events that made her a key figure in the lineage of Jesus Christ. Could it be that, like Ruth, your decisions, no matter how small, are being woven into a greater narrative? Close your eyes and envision a radiant, multi-dimensional web extending from your heart. Each strand represents a relationship, a memory, or a moment where your life intersected with another's. Now imagine certain intersections glowing with light. These are the moments when your energy, your influence, left a mark on someone else's journey. Perhaps your name being spoken in the courtroom is one such intersection flaring to life, a divine spark reminding you of the connections you may have forgotten but heaven has not. Pause and consider. Have you ever been nudged by intuition to act in a way that defied logic? Perhaps you reached out to a stranger, offered unexpected help, or reconnected with someone from your past. These moments often stem from a higher wisdom, the voice of God whispering to your soul. The Bible describes this as the guidance of the Holy Spirit, which Jesus promised to all believers. But the Advocate, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, will teach you all things and will remind you of everything I have said to you. John 14:26. Could it be that one of these Spirit-led moments planted the seed for what is now unfolding? The threads that connect us are not random. They stretch beyond personal stories, intertwining with larger narratives that shape entire communities, systems, and even nations. Your name being mentioned in this legal context is more than coincidence. It is an invitation to reflect on your role in a greater story. Are you being called to bring light into a dark situation, to stand as a witness for truth, or perhaps to be the catalyst for change, shaking stagnant systems until they yield to integrity? Take another moment of reflection. Place your hand over your heart and feel the rhythm of your heartbeat. a steady reminder of your existence and purpose. With each beat, imagine waves of energy radiating outward, connecting you to everyone whose path you've crossed. Whisper softly to yourself, "I acknowledge these connections. I welcome the lessons they bring." This simple act grounds you, aligning your spirit with the divine forces, orchestrating this moment. The Bible shows us again and again that God uses these hidden threads to accomplish his purposes. Think of Joseph, who endured betrayal and slavery only to rise as Egypt's second in command. What seemed like random and unjust events were, in fact, divine preparation. "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Genesis 50:20. Could it be that the currents bringing your name into the courtroom are part of a similar divine plan? Pause to ask yourself, why has this moment come now? What role am I being called to play? These questions may not have immediate answers, but they are worth sitting with, as they can open the door to deeper understanding. As we move forward, we'll explore the significance of these hidden connections and how they intersect with your spiritual journey. For now, allow the wonder of this revelation to settle in your heart. You are not a passive participant in life's unfolding. You are a thread in the great design of God's creation, a design that is being revealed one extraordinary moment at a time. The courtroom may seem like a place of judgment and finality, but in truth, it is a space where destinies are clarified and callings are confirmed. In the wake of hearing your name spoken in court, you may begin to notice subtle shifts around you. Some people might glance at you differently, their eyes reflecting curiosity or intrigue. Others might approach, seeking advice or affirmation, drawn to the sense that you carry something they need, something intangible but powerful. This isn't random. When your name is called in a significant way, your spiritual aura shifts, radiating a clearer light. It's as if the heavens themselves have marked you as a vital player in the unfolding of a divine plan. But remember, being mentioned in court does not immediately cast you as a hero or a villain. Often, these moments serve as tests of your character, offering opportunities for growth or cautionary pitfalls. Will you seize this moment for personal gain, risking selfish entanglement? Or will you shrink back in fear, denying the weight of responsibility that comes with being chosen? The true challenge lies in remaining steady, navigating the fine line between observer and participant. This balance ensures that you evolve in wisdom and purpose, rather than becoming ensnared by fleeting emotions or shallow ambitions. Consider the story of Job, a man tested not by choice, but by divine design. His name was brought up in a heavenly court when God declared, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him." Job 1:8. What followed was a series of trials that tested Job's faith and integrity, ultimately refining him into a man of even greater spiritual strength. Could this moment in your life be a similar test, designed to reveal your resilience and illuminate your purpose? Pause for a moment to ask yourself, why now? Why this particular scenario? Why would the universe or God choose a courtroom of all places to draw attention to your connections, your choices, and your destiny? Don't rush to answer these questions. Instead, sit with them, allowing the mystery to unfold gradually. The Bible often speaks of waiting on the Lord, for in those moments of silence, profound revelations emerge. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. As you navigate this experience, resist the urge to cling to immediate clarity. Instead, let the uncertainty become fertile ground for spiritual insight. The courtroom moment is like a key that opens hidden doors, revealing layers of interconnectedness that you may have overlooked. Reflect on this. How have your past actions, even the small, unnoticed ones, influence the people and events around you? Could your words of encouragement, acts of kindness, or even moments of silent prayer have set invisible threads into motion that are now converging in this dramatic event? This isn't merely about understanding your role, it's about recognizing the responsibility that comes with it. Like Esther, who hesitated when called upon to risk her life for her people, you may feel unprepared or unsure of your worthiness, but remember Mordecai's words to her. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this? Esther 4:14. Could this moment be your such a time as this? A divine invitation to rise and fulfill a purpose greater than yourself. Take a deep breath and realign yourself with this truth. The hidden threads are real, and they have brought you to this extraordinary moment. Your presence in this story is no accident. The subtle changes in how people perceive you, the questions that arise, and the shifts in your own awareness are all signs that something deeper is unfolding. The universe, and more importantly the Creator, has positioned you here with intentionality. Think of this moment as an opportunity to refine your inner vision. Just as a slight adjustment in a telescope can reveal constellations once hidden in the night sky, a shift in your perspective can uncover profound meaning behind this event. What might this teach you about your role in the greater tapestry of life? How can this awareness transform not only your understanding, but also the lives of those around you? Reflect too on the people who might benefit from your insights. Your experiences are not meant to be locked away as personal treasures. The Bible calls us to share the light we receive. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14. Who in your life might need the wisdom you are now uncovering? How can your journey inspire others to discover their own hidden threads? Your name being spoken in that courtroom was not a conclusion, it was a beginning. This event has cracked open new worlds of possibility, inviting you to step into a higher understanding of yourself and your purpose. As you move forward, let courage guide your steps. Embrace the questions, savor the mystery, and trust that the God who orchestrated this moment will continue to reveal the path ahead. The threads that have converged here are not random, they are sacred. And as you stand at the threshold of deeper awareness, remember this: you are not alone. You are part of something vast, divine, and purposeful. Embrace it, for the journey ahead holds more than you can yet imagine. Chapter 3. The Alchemy of Your Influence. Pause for a moment and consider this humbling truth. Your life impacts others in ways you may never fully understand. That casual remark you made in passing, a piece of advice given to a friend, or even a kind smile shared with a stranger, all these actions ripple outward, often far beyond your awareness. Could it be that one such ripple has now returned to you, transformed, echoing your name in a courtroom, a place of judgment, revelation, and consequence? This is the alchemy of influence. Human beings exchange energy not only through grand gestures, but also through the seemingly inconsequential moments that weave the fabric of daily life. A word, a gesture, even a thought can spark a chain reaction that alters destinies. Think of Jesus' parable of the mustard seed. Though it is the smallest of all seeds, yet when it grows, it is the largest of garden plants and becomes a tree, so that the birds come and perch in its branches. Matthew 13:32. Your influence, though it may feel small, has the potential to grow into something extraordinary, reaching further than you could have imagined. Reflect on your journey. Can you recall moments in your past when you were just beginning to understand yourself, to grapple with your place in the world? Could you have foreseen then that your name would one day carry such weight? invoked in a courtroom, a setting where truth and morality collide? Likely not. Yet here you are, standing at the intersection of revelation and responsibility. But ask yourself this: could those seemingly minor moments in your past have been part of a divine plan, preparing you for this very moment? Take a moment to reconnect with your body. Stretch your arms upward, releasing tension as you lower them slowly to your sides. Feel the gentle rhythm of your breath, grounding yourself in the present. Each exhalation carries away stale energy, making space for fresh, divine insight. This physical grounding mirrors a deeper truth. You exist not only in thought or spirit, but also in the tangible, created world. To influence others, you must first acknowledge the sacred integration of body, mind, and soul. Now, consider the unpredictability of your influence. What seems trivial to you may become profound for someone else. What you forget moments after saying may echo in another's heart for years. This truth is both empowering and humbling. Think of the Apostle Peter. When Jesus told him, "You are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church," Matthew 16:18, Peter could not have foreseen how his words and actions would influence the faith of millions. Yet, his moments of doubt and denial also became lessons, shaping the early church's understanding of grace and redemption. Like Peter, your influence is not about perfection, but about authenticity and the willingness to grow. What ripple effects might your words or actions be creating right now, even without your awareness? This lack of control over how your influence is received is not a burden, it is an invitation. It calls you to act with presence, integrity, and love. Knowing that your words might resurface in unexpected contexts, would you not choose them more carefully? Knowing that your actions might inspire or mislead, would you not strive to act with authenticity? This is not about overthinking every move, but about living with intentionality, aligning your life with higher principles. What would change in your life if you began to see every interaction as part of a divine tapestry? The courtroom that echoed your name is more than a physical space. It represents the stage of life itself, a place where human dramas unfold, shaped by truth, morality, and divine purpose. Your involvement signifies your role in something much larger than the specifics of that case. The Bible reminds us of this interconnectedness, for just as each of us has one body with many members, and these members do not all have the same function, so in Christ, we, though many, form one body, and each member belongs to all the others. Romans 12:4-5. You are not an isolated entity, but a vital thread in the divine tapestry of creation. If this realization feels overwhelming, grant yourself grace. Take another deep breath and remind yourself, you are allowed to learn, to make mistakes, to grow. Transformation is rarely linear. It is a process of discovery and refinement. By acknowledging the alchemy of your influence, you step into the role of a conscious creator, shaping the world not by accident, but with purpose and care. How might your life transform if you began to see each moment as sacred, each word as an offering to the world? As this awareness settles, you may begin to sense a deeper calling. Perhaps this moment invites you to step boldly into roles you once resisted. Maybe it encourages you to speak truth in places where silence has prevailed. Or perhaps it prompts you to release patterns that no longer serve you, allowing room for new growth. Remember, alchemy is not only about transforming base elements into gold. It is also about refining and purifying the alchemist. Just as gold must be tested in fire to achieve its brilliance, your influence is being refined in this moment. The Bible speaks of this process. These trials will show that your faith is genuine. It is being tested as fire tests and purifies gold. though your faith is far more precious than mere gold. 1 Peter 1:7. Could this moment be your refining fire, preparing you for greater purpose? As you move forward, reflect on the lives your influence has already touched and the paths it has shaped. Who might benefit from the wisdom you are now uncovering? How can your journey inspire others to step into their own transformations? This is the alchemy of your influence, not only to shape others, but to be shaped yourself, growing in compassion, humility, and divine alignment. In the chapters ahead, we'll explore how to wield this influence wisely, turning the energy of this moment into lasting impact. For now, rest in the knowledge that your life matters profoundly. Every word, every action, every choice ripples outward, touching lives and shaping destinies in ways you may never see, but heaven always remembers. Chapter 4. Facing the Ethical Edge. The seeds of your next evolution are already taking root in the fertile soil of your awareness. Now, with your name spoken under oath, you've been thrust into a realm where ethics, truth, and morality intertwine. This moment forces a confrontation: right versus wrong, fact versus fiction, accountability versus denial. You are no longer a distant observer. You are woven into this fabric, compelled to examine your own moral compass. What do you truly stand for? Are there lines you will not cross, even when no one is watching? Take a deep breath and imagine a delicate scale suspended in your heart. On one side, place the desire for personal gain, comfort, and validation. On the other, lay down the virtues you hold dear: honesty, empathy, justice. Visualize the scale tipping. Does it balance, or does it lean toward one side? What does this reveal about the values that quietly guide your life? If this courtroom scenario feels unsettling, it's because it resonates with a universal tension we all navigate: the gray areas of morality, the decisions that define who we are becoming. The universe seems to whisper, take heed of what you value most, for your choices ripple outward, shaping not just yourself, but also the world around you. Reflect on your past. Have you ever stood at a moral crossroads? Perhaps you witnessed an injustice but hesitated to act, or maybe you found the courage to defend someone who was vulnerable. These moments, whether they felt significant or small, leave an imprint on your soul. Consider the Good Samaritan who saw a wounded man on the side of the road and chose compassion over convenience. Jesus praised his actions, saying, "Go and do likewise." Luke 10:37. Could this be your moment to act with that same courage and compassion? Now, with your name invoked in a setting of judgment, you face another question. Will you let events unfold passively, or will you boldly declare your ethics through action and word? Think also of Daniel, who was brought before King Darius' court for defying an unjust decree. Knowing the consequences, Daniel chose to pray openly to God, valuing his faith above personal safety. My God sent his angel, and he shut the mouths of the lions, Daniel 6:22. He testified after surviving the lion's den. His unwavering commitment to righteousness not only protected him, but also glorified God. Could this courtroom moment be your lion's den, a test of your principles and trust in divine justice? Place your hand over your chest. Feel your heartbeat, the rhythm of life itself. That pulse is a reminder of your agency. While you may not control how others invoke your name, you do control your response. If people twist your involvement for self-serving ends, you can stand firm. If injustice begins to brew, you can speak truth, even when it comes at personal cost. True ethics are not tested when it's easy to do the right thing. They are forged in moments of adversity. What would it look like for you to act in alignment with your highest values right now? This moment also invites you to refine your understanding of truth. In a legal setting, truth can often seem pliable, influenced by bias, argument, or perspective. But within yourself, truth need not be so malleable. Jesus declared, "I am the way and the truth and the life." John 14:6, reminding us that truth is not merely a concept, but a divine constant. By grounding yourself in clarity, knowing what you stand for, what you reject, and where you seek understanding, you become less swayed by external chaos. How might anchoring yourself in this inner truth change the way you navigate difficult decisions? If you've ever wondered why life's tests seem to appear at the most inconvenient times, consider the possibility that they are orchestrated for your growth. Trials reveal where your moral framework is solid and where it needs strengthening. The courtroom mention is one such trial. It is not merely about legality, it is about alignment with your higher self. Success in this test is not measured by public acclaim, but by the quiet confidence you feel when looking in the mirror. When this chapter closes, will you be proud of the person reflected back at you? Consider Job, a man whose integrity was tested to its limits. When his name was brought up in the courts of heaven, God declared, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. He is blameless and upright." Job 1:8. Despite unimaginable suffering, Job held fast to his righteousness, saying, "Though he slay me, yet will I hope in him." Job 13:15. His unwavering faith serves as a reminder that enduring trials with integrity strengthens the soul and deepens one's connection to God. Could this moment be your opportunity to affirm your unwavering commitment to what is right? Transformation often feels uncomfortable. It demands that you confront your shadows, question your assumptions, and embrace uncertainty. Yet this discomfort is where character is forged. The Bible reminds us, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance." James 1:2-3. Could this challenge be shaping you into someone stronger, more aligned with God's purpose for your life? Gradually, your perspective on this courtroom event may shift. Instead of viewing it as an intrusion, consider it an opportunity. The universe has placed you in a situation that demands moral clarity because you have the capacity to rise to the occasion. How might this moment shape your legacy? Before moving forward, take one final moment of reflection. Picture the scale in your heart once again, but now see it steady and balanced. Feel the weight of your deepest convictions anchoring you in integrity. Whisper to yourself, "I will stand for what is right, even when it's not easy. I will let my values guide me through every choice I make." In the chapters ahead, we will explore how to apply these ethical insights in practical ways. For now, rest in the assurance that your commitment to truth, empathy, and justice is enough to guide you through this trial and all others to come. Embrace this challenge, for it is shaping you into a force of unwavering moral strength and divine purpose. Chapter 5. Reclaiming your narrative. Have you ever felt trapped in someone else's narrative, wondering how to reclaim your voice? In a courtroom, stories clash for dominance. Each side presents its narrative, seeking to sway a judge or jury. When your name surfaces, the risk is clear. You may be cast as a character in someone else's story, portrayed as a hero, a villain, or a mere footnote. But remember, the ultimate author of your life is you, and the one who created you. For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. Ephesians 2:10. Others may attempt to define you, but their words are not the final chapter. Imagine you are holding a quill, dipping it into a well of shimmering ink, the ink of truth, integrity, and divine purpose. Each stroke outlines the contours of your identity, and no external force can overwrite what God has inscribed in your heart. If this event has sparked doubt or confusion, let that uncertainty fuel your determination to reclaim your narrative. Who does God say you are? Scripture declares, "You are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession." 1 Peter 2:9. What would it feel like to see yourself through the lens of these words as someone chosen and deeply valued by the Creator? Take a mindful pause, close your eyes and focus on the rhythm of your breath, feeling it flow in and out. Now, envision a blank page hovering before you. On it, write 3 virtues you hold dear: honesty, resilience, compassion, whatever resonates with your soul. These words become your anchors, grounding you in your God-given identity. If the world tries to paint you in false colors, remember that your Creator has already affirmed your true essence. "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." Jeremiah 1:5. What virtues would you write on your blank page? How can you use them as a compass to guide your actions moving forward? Your narrative extends beyond the courtroom. We live in an age where reputations can be shaped by headlines, gossip, and fleeting impressions. If this incident spills into social media or becomes fodder for community whispers, stand firm. What lessons has God already taught you about resilience and truth? Recall moments when misunderstanding or misjudgment tested your character. Each time you stood firm, you were unknowingly preparing for this moment. Now, you have the chance to embody what it means to stand in truth and integrity, reflecting the light of Christ through your words and actions. Consider the possibility that your presence in other stories serves a divine purpose. Think of Joseph, whose name was unjustly linked to accusations in Potiphar's court. Stripped of his freedom, he might have despaired. Yet, Joseph's unwavering faith in God allowed him to see beyond the immediate injustice. "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Genesis 50:20. Could this unexpected courtroom moment be a catalyst for your growth, refining your values and calling you to re-emerge with renewed clarity and purpose? Instead of feeling victimized, embrace this event as an opportunity. Just as a phoenix rises from ashes, you can rise from this confusion with greater authenticity, your self-awareness blazing brighter than ever. How might this experience shape your understanding of your purpose and your role in God's greater plan? Reclaiming your narrative may require speaking out. This could mean writing your truth, engaging in heartfelt conversations with trusted friends, or sharing insights publicly. When you do, let your words flow from a place of truth and integrity, not from bitterness or a desire for vengeance. Jesus himself modeled this when he stood before Pilate, refusing to stoop to defensiveness, but calmly affirming truth. "You say that I'm a king. In fact, the reason I was born and came into the world is to testify to the truth." John 18:37. When you respond thoughtfully, with sincerity and humility, your voice becomes a beacon of light, making it harder for misinformation to take root. Over time, you may begin to see this unexpected event as a gift, a rough diamond urging you to polish your understanding of self. By confronting external narratives, you develop discernment, a skill that will serve you well throughout your journey. How might your trust in God help you rise above the false narratives others attempt to impose on you? Consider the example of David, whose life was often misinterpreted by others, from his brothers doubting his potential to King Saul seeking his destruction. Yet David's unwavering trust in God allowed him to rise above these false narratives, becoming a man after God's own heart. 1 Samuel 13:14. As you face this challenge, remind yourself that no storm lasts forever. The lessons you learn now will prepare you for future crossroads. When faced with adversity again, you will remember how you stood firm, reclaimed your narrative, and emerged stronger. What strengths are you discovering within yourself through this trial that you didn't know you possessed? Take one more moment of reflection. Picture the blank page before you, no longer empty, but filled with the qualities and values you hold dear. Imagine God's hand resting on yours as you write, affirming your worth and guiding your thoughts. Whisper to yourself, I am who God says I am. I will define my story with truth, integrity, and love. In the chapters ahead, we'll explore practical ways to strengthen this narrative and ensure your voice remains clear and steady amid life's uncertainties. What would your story look like if you trusted fully in God's plan for your life and let Him guide every chapter? For now, rest in the assurance that reclaiming your story is not just an act of personal will, it is a sacred act of aligning with the Creator's vision for your life. Your identity, shaped by divine hands, is more enduring than any rumor, accusation, or misunderstanding. Chapter 6. Cultivating compassion for all players. At first glance, compassion might seem out of place in the midst of legal tangles and moral challenges. Yet, compassion is a master key. It unlocks understanding, heals wounds, and restores balance. Consider this. Everyone involved in that courtroom event, lawyers, witnesses, judges, even those who invoked your name, carries their own burdens. They face struggles, fears, and hopes you may never see. By cultivating compassion, you transcend the adversarial narrative and step into a higher form of engagement. Could compassion transform not only how you view others, but also how you navigate this moment? Start by acknowledging your own complexity. You are not a saint, nor are you a villain. You are human, shaped by your experiences, dreams, and doubts. If you allow yourself grace for your past mistakes, how can you deny that same grace to others? Jesus himself demonstrated this balance when he intervened in the stoning of the adulterous woman. To the accusers he said, "Let any one of you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her." John 8:7. To the woman he spoke with compassion. "Go now and leave your life of sin." John 8:11. His actions reveal that compassion does not excuse wrongdoing. It acknowledges humanity while inviting transformation. Place both hands over your heart and take a slow, deep breath. As you exhale, imagine soft light radiating from your chest, enveloping you first and then extending outward. Picture this light touching everyone connected to the legal case. It does not absolve them of accountability, but it acknowledges their humanity. How might this simple act change the way you feel about the situation? This exercise can soften your tension, replacing anger or confusion with a calm resolve to see the bigger picture. When you view events through compassionate eyes, you begin to understand that life is rarely black and white. The person who mentioned your name may have done so out of desperation, misguided loyalty, or a sincere belief in their actions. The judge presiding over the case may carry the burden of countless decisions, striving to uphold fairness. Compassion doesn't mean excusing behavior. It means understanding the complexities that drive it. How might understanding someone's story change the way you approach them? Compassion also extends inward. If you feel shaken or anxious about what happened, permit yourself to feel those emotions without judgment. How might offering yourself grace enable you to offer it to others? Remember the psalmist's words, The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Psalm 34:18. God does not expect you to suppress your pain, but invites you to bring it to Him. By holding your own distress with compassion, you model how to hold others' pain as well. Over time, this approach transforms the narrative. Instead of a conflict between right and wrong, you begin to see a tapestry of souls, each trying to survive, learn, and grow. Some make poor choices, others strive to uphold virtue. Compassion does not prevent you from standing for justice. On the contrary, it informs your pursuit of justice by reminding you to seek transformation rather than retribution. Consider Jesus on the cross, who, even in his suffering, prayed, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." Luke 23:34. Could your compassion in this moment mirror that divine grace? If an opportunity arises to interact with those who brought your name into the courtroom, consider how you might communicate. Could you ask questions that encourage reflection rather than provoke conflict? Could you listen, even if you disagree, to understand their perspective? Proverbs reminds us, "A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger." Proverbs 15:1. Sometimes a few heartfelt words can disarm hostility and initiate healing conversations. What might it feel like to speak with kindness, even in the face of misunderstanding? Compassion doesn't guarantee easy resolutions or fair outcomes. In fact, it often coexists with heartbreak when others choose harmful paths. But by cultivating this stance, you uphold your own integrity and spiritual growth. You become someone who sees beyond immediate drama, recognizing that every individual carries their own battles, lessons, and scars. Continue nurturing compassion through small daily acts. When someone cuts you off in traffic or speaks harshly in a meeting, pause before reacting. Remind yourself that they might be in pain, distracted, or wounded in ways you'll never know. This doesn't excuse the behavior, but places it in context. What would it look like to respond thoughtfully in your daily interactions, even when it's difficult? By practicing this repeatedly, you refine your ability to respond with grace rather than react reflexively. As we approach the final chapter, understand that compassion is not weakness. It is quiet strength. It anchors you in truth, love, and understanding, allowing you to remain centered amid chaos. Consider Paul's exhortation. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. Ephesians 4:32. When others spin stories, accuse, or misinterpret your presence, compassion allows you to rise above the noise. It keeps your heart open to grace and ensures that even in the aftermath of shocking revelations, you remain aligned with God's love and purpose. Chapter 7. Embracing the Evolutionary Arc. By now you have journeyed through shock, uncovered hidden connections, faced moral crossroads, reclaimed your narrative, and embraced compassion. These chapters of your life were not random. The moment your name emerged in that courtroom was part of a much larger design, an evolutionary arc stretching far beyond this single event. Your growth, influence, and purpose expand when you approach challenges not as curses, but as catalysts for transformation. Have you begun to recognize how even the most difficult moments can be stepping stones towards something greater? Life often unfolds as a series of initiations. Each trial, especially those that arrive unexpectedly, offers a chance to ascend to a higher level of understanding and faith. Reflect on the story of Joseph, whose life was marked by painful but transformative initiations. Betrayed by his brothers and sold into slavery, Joseph could have given in to despair. Instead, he trusted God's purpose, eventually rising to a position of great influence. Take a deep breath inhale strength, exhale doubt. As you do, visualize yourself standing at the edge of a precipice, overlooking a vast and awe-inspiring landscape. This view represents your future possibilities, an open terrain shaped by your choices, values, and faith. Can you see how the path behind you, woven with trials and revelations, has prepared you for the road ahead? The Apostle Paul reminds us, "We know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." Romans 8:28. How might this truth anchor you as you prepare to take the next step? The trials you've endured have not been meaningless. They have shaped you into a vessel for greater purpose. The lessons you've learned are like tools in a craftsman's hands, each one sharpening your ability to navigate life's complexities. Shock taught you resilience. Hidden connections revealed the intricate web of influence you hold. The moral crossroads clarified your values. Compassion softened your heart, allowing you to see beyond judgment. How would your perspective shift if you truly believed that God's presence is guiding each step you take? Picture God walking beside you as you prepare to step into the unknown. His voice echoes the words he spoke to Joshua. "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Joshua 1:9. Imagine his reassurance steadying your spirit. This chapter is not about finding easy answers or guarantees. It's about embracing the unknown with faith, trusting that the Creator who has brought you this far will not abandon you. Each choice, each act of courage, and each moment of reflection is part of the masterpiece God is creating through you. As you prepare to move forward, whisper a prayer of gratitude for the challenges that refined you, the revelations that awakened you, and the divine guidance that sustains you. Let your heart swell with the knowledge that this journey, with all its twists and turns, is leading you toward the fullest expression of your purpose. Can you feel the quiet strength growing within you as you acknowledge how far you've already come? Step boldly into the open terrain before you, carrying the wisdom of your journey and the promise of God's unwavering presence. This is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with faith, courage, and boundless possibility. So, what have you learned? First, you've learned that your name and essence carry weight in the collective narrative. When your name surfaced, it was a reminder that your existence matters, not just to those around you, but to the larger fabric of life itself. How might you let this truth inspire the way you step forward from here? Scripture tells us, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden." Matthew 5:14. Your light, your essence, is uniquely positioned to illuminate paths that others cannot see. Second, you've discovered that your moral compass, once tested, can guide you through even the most bewildering scenarios. Like Daniel, who stood firm in his convictions even when threatened with the lion's den, Daniel 6. You've shown that integrity can anchor you amid uncertainty. What guiding principles have emerged for you through this trial? Each choice you make from this foundation shapes your journey and influences those around you, ensuring that your path remains aligned with truth. Third, you've reclaimed your role as the author of your own story, no matter who tries to script it otherwise. How will you continue writing your story in a way that reflects your truth and God's plan for your life? Like Joseph, who refused to let the false narratives of others define his destiny, you have taken hold of the pen. But as for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good. Genesis 50:20. This verse reminds us that even when others seek to distort your narrative, God can use those moments for your ultimate growth and purpose. Fourth, you've seen that compassion unlocks deeper understanding. allowing you to navigate complexity with grace. Jesus exemplified this on the cross when he prayed, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." Luke 23:34. Who in your life might need your compassion right now, even if it feels undeserved? Compassion doesn't excuse wrongdoing, but it creates space for healing and transformation. Could you extend that same compassion inward, offering yourself grace for the moments when you stumbled? These insights form a powerful toolkit, empowering you to engage with life on a more conscious, intentional level. As you step forward, commit to using your influence wisely. How can you strive for honesty, tempered with kindness and authenticity, infused with ethical grounding in your daily interactions? Whether your words appear in a courtroom transcript, a social media thread, or a whispered conversation with a loved one, recognize their potential to shape hearts and minds. Treat truth not as a weapon, but as a beacon. Your journey is far from over. Challenges will arise again, some subtle, others dramatic, but each will find you better equipped. Remember Paul's encouragement. Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance, character, and character, hope. Romans 5:3-4. Instead of dreading these moments, welcome them as opportunities to refine your understanding of who you are and what you stand for. What masterpiece might God be shaping with your life, even now, in ways you cannot yet see? Reflect on the initial shock you felt when your name was first mentioned. That shock, bewildering as it was, has transformed into clarity and purpose. What would your life look like if you approached every trial with this mindset? This is the magic of conscious evolution. You've taken what could have remained a bewildering event and turned it into a milestone of self-awareness and growth. This is what it means to embrace your role as a chosen one, not chosen to dominate or control, but chosen to awaken, learn, and guide. Consider sharing these insights with others. By teaching what you've learned, you help others navigate their own storms. Who in your life might benefit from hearing the lessons you've uncovered on this journey? When people wonder how to handle the unexpected twists of fate, you can remind them to look deeper, discover hidden lessons, and emerge stronger. Through this service, your influence extends beyond the personal and merges into the collective upliftment. As Jesus said, "Freely you have received, freely give." Matthew 10:8. Let your wisdom become a gift that empowers others to grow, evolve, and shine. Before we part, pause for a moment and acknowledge the subtle joy stirring in your heart. It's the joy of recognizing your power and purpose. You don't need to shout this from the rooftops or make grand proclamations. Instead, let it shine quietly through your actions, your words, and your presence. Over time, the people around you will notice. They'll see it in your steady gaze, hear it in your calm voice, and feel it in your unwavering integrity. Though this exploration nears its end, your journey continues. Life will undoubtedly present new challenges and surprises, but you now know that even the most unexpected events can become stepping stones toward your spiritual and personal growth. The universe guided you here for a reason, and your task is to live this wisdom with intention. When you do, you'll find your reality aligning more closely with the truth of who you are becoming. Each moment, whether triumphant or challenging, is part of your evolving story. The lessons you've gleaned from this chapter don't simply fade. They are woven into the fabric of your character, strengthening your resilience and expanding your perspective. How will you carry these lessons forward, applying them to new opportunities and trials? In days or years to come, you may find that when faced with unexpected circumstances, your instinct shifts from fear to curiosity. You'll ask, what wisdom lies beneath this, rather than, why me? This shift will not only transform how you navigate challenges, but also deepen your empathy for others. You'll recognize that everyone is on their own unique journey, stumbling toward light through their own trials. With this understanding, you'll offer support rather than judgment, becoming a source of calm and encouragement in a chaotic world. Your influence will grow, not because of grand gestures, but because of your authenticity and thoughtfulness. Words you once spoke casually now carry weight, and actions you once performed without reflection now feel purposeful. What causes align with your core values? Where can your presence spark meaningful change? These are the questions that will guide your path as you focus your energy on what truly matters. In time, you'll look back on this chapter and see it as a turning point, not because it solved every challenge, but because it equipped you with the lens to view adversity as fuel for growth. You'll move forward not as someone battered by circumstances, but as someone refined and empowered by them. This transformation is subtle yet profound, a quiet revolution within your soul. Let this understanding guide you in every decision, every conversation, and every dream you pursue. Know that your learning never ends, and every new challenge is simply another invitation to grow deeper in wisdom and strength. Where once you might have hesitated, now you stride forward with confidence, illuminated by the steady glow of a more conscious and awakened self. This is the gift of embracing your evolutionary arc, an ever-expanding horizon of possibilities, infused with meaning and grace. To each of you who joined this journey, thank you. Your willingness to explore, reflect, and grow is a testament to your courage and openness. You have carried the lessons shared here into your hearts, and in doing so, you've enriched not only your own path, but also the collective journey of all who seek truth and growth. May you continue to walk your path with wisdom, strength, and grace. May you find clarity in moments of confusion, courage in times of fear, and joy in the small, quiet triumphs of daily life. May your influence ripple outward, touching lives with kindness and purpose, and may your evolving story inspire others to find their own light. If this journey has resonated with you, I invite you to like and share this message so others may find inspiration in these words. Let us grow together as a community, supporting one another in life's challenges and triumphs. Your voice matters. Your sharing could be the spark that lights another's way. Thank you for being part of this transformative journey. Go forth, carrying these insights with you, and may you be abundantly blessed in all that you do.